So welcome. This is graphic designers don't get paid enough, and here's how to fix it. You're probably a graphic designer. You probably need some help because I for sure was a kind of sort of a graphic designer. See, the thing with me is when I learn a skill, I pass it on to somebody else, and then I let them take the torch, and then I'd be like, "Hey, do this for me," right? And so graphic design is a perfect example of that. So way back 10 years ago is when I first found out about Canva. And when I found out about Canva, I was like, this is actually amazing. This shit is free. Are you shitting me? Also, my hair's a mess because I just woke up. Only 90 minutes of sleep besides the nap. But so it's like Canva. It's a very a superpower really. Like Canva gives you super abilities, if you will. And the amazing part about that is that, oh man, um, is that it puts you in this mode of creation, right? When you do, when you stay in a mode of creation, it equals for better time. And I'm so serious about that because most people don't realize that Canva really is, or just creating in general is a super tool, right? And so I'm gonna give you the sauce on how to structure your your graphic design stuff so that you're able to make a better way for yourself. And so on the board it says how to make money with graphic design. Because again, nobody taught me either. Ugh. Nobody really taught me in the blueprint. This all really stemmed from there's thousands if not tens of thousands of dollars in marketing courses, education, just learning experience out, like a bunch of money dumped into this thing just to figure out this information. So I'm gonna give you some guidelines that if you follow them, it'll be better for you, right? The problem is that the graphic design aspect of things wasn't necessarily my business, right? It was more so my wife took the torch on that. And so she was the main person with the graphic design and still is to this day. So like all the thumbnails that you see is her creating that, right? And so that's why I passed the torch to. So if you have a wife or a girlfriend, make sure you pass her the skills so that you could then be like, hey, you know this, right? You know how to cook. Might as well cook. Might as well graphic design, right? In case you guys didn't know, my name is Manuel Velasco. Sometimes I talk about some outlandish shit on the internet, and sometimes I give you some value. So that's for you to decide because I cannot decide whether I'm a good driver. You're the only person who could decide if I'm a good driver or not. So, with that being said, let's hit the famous book because this is Meditations. It is still sealed, right? And it's been months or almost months at this point. So, the only line I need is what's in the back. So, we'll probably do it on this side so we could take the light. If someone can prove me wrong and show me my mistake in any thought or action, I shall gladly change. I seek the truth, which never harmed anyone. The harm is to persist in one's own self deception and ignorance. So, I'm really here just seeking the truth, just like everybody else. And so, I'm just spelling my truth or what I believe to be my truth based on my experiences. And then if that turns out to be wrong, then guess what? I will get rid of those convictions, those beliefs, because they weren't factual, right? So I'm more logical based. Now, that doesn't mean there's not a place for emotional based stuff. But going back to it, I'm gonna give you I'm gonna give you about I'm gonna give you the sauce. I'm gonna give you a basic plan, an intermediate plan, and then a premium plan if you're doing graphic design. So let's just get into number one, right? This is pre pre work. Learn to use Canva. If you want to be a big baller, pay for the big baller account, which is $20 per month. And that account gives you access to, excuse me, AI images that you could literally go to, and like here's the secret. You go to ChatGPT, you have ChatGPT give you the prompt, and you take that prompt and you throw it into Canva, and then you start tweaking it from there. What the hell? What's going on with my head? Anywho, let's fix this headpiece by just removing this. Boom. Now we look beautiful. All right. So number one, you gotta figure out how to use Canva. There's plenty of videos on the internet to learn how to use Canva in its current state, its current form, right? And so go ahead and learn that because it's a powerful tool. It's kind of like Adobe, if you will, but or Photoshop, um, but it's basically free. And guess what? It's an app on your phone, so you could literally go on the phone and hey, for my wife made like $10,000+ very easily by her phone using Canva. Period. Right. And so it's like Canva. There's a bunch of money in using that software. And guess what? If it costs you, your hard cost is $20 per month, and you're charging simply $500. You just pay for Canva for practically the year, right there. Canva is $480 basically if you do $20 for. Oh, sorry, it's actually worse than that. It's $240. So basically, you pay for 2 years with that one person. That's a really big ROI right there. And so, of course, you could pay for the year, be a little cheaper, right? Okay. Two, combine social media and graphic design. And what that equals is a social media manager. And that means that you could sell a reoccurring package now. So you don't want to be that one and done person. So in the beginning, we were doing, we set up. My wife really wanted to do just one. How much should I charge for one? And so I was like, you shouldn't charge for one. You should charge for a batch if you're gonna go that route. And so initially, what happened is for 4 designs, it would cost $99, right? And so even if the customer didn't necessarily do all 4 right then and there, they maybe did 2, right? Um, that equated to okay, when you have another idea, then boom, you could just hit us with that, right? And so it created the ability to now have them keep on thinking about us because it's like you already paid for it. Hey, like you need your 2 now, like you already paid for that. When can we give that to you? What do you need on that, right? And so now it equates to more money up front because what if it's just $25? One off. There's 2 of those. That's $50, right? Instead, we extend that. And so, like, that was the play because of how my wife wanted to go about it. And so later on, we switched to a reoccurring model. Now, of course, the price wasn't necessarily the best price. And so, like, I'm going to go through the pricing because like this graphic design stuff is really valuable, right? You could do reels from there, you could do carousels from there, um, you could do so many different things, right? Thumbnails. So it's such an amazing skill and ability that you have now to create all of these different things. So it's like we were charging, or she was charging $320 recurring every month. Um, and then plus special invoicing techniques that I'm sure we'll go through in another video. I'm not going to go through that now. Or if you want to learn about it, there's actually this book here I recommend you guys get that I have no Amazon link, no affiliate link, unfortunately, which I should. But the technique that I've been using for all this time is actually in this book. So if you want it for $30 and you don't want to wait, you'll get more information than just that one technique. Or you can wait and get it for free. The books is like $30 plus like $10 shipping depending on where you're at. But so we're charging $320, and so that equated to more cash flow, right? What my wife was doing, I would say she was going overboard on what she was doing, and so Here's how we would restructure it now, right? And so create a brand kit, number 3, right? So we'll go over number 1, number 2 real quick. Number 1 is to learn to use Canva, right? If you're a big baller, you pay for this $20 account per month. It unlocks like all the different things in there. All right. Number 2, combine social media and graphic design together, and that means you're a social media manager, and so that means you could charge recurring services. Cool. So here's the play. 3, create a brand kit. A brand kit, it's you could charge for basic, right? There's 3 levels that I got for you guys. For basic, you could charge $500 to $2,000. This includes a logo, color palette, typograph, and some basic brand guidelines, right? $500 to $2,000. Then this is just brand kits, okay? This is not something that's reoccurring. This is literally just a brand kit, okay? This is one-time payments type of thing. And so intermediate, you have 2,000 to 5,000. This includes all the basics, plus additional assets like business cards, business card design, social media profile, and banner templates, and some guidelines for brand voice, right? So you're more in the consultant type of role, right? A little bit, right? So you're given some guidelines on brand voice, right? And then we reach the highest level, which is premium, which is $5,000 to $20,000 plus comprehensive brand kits with logo variations, brand style guide, packaging design, multiple social media assets, business collateral, and detailed brand strategy. So this is like again into depth with the consultant, right? Now you're kind of in full consultant mode. And so I'm sure maybe these prices shock you. And if they shock you, good. You're charging too cheap. Like we were charging too cheap. And just understanding the value in this. What is the value of you being their social media manager? What's the value of that? Now, if you go to a person who doesn't have money, the value is like an arm and a leg, right? A couple $100 at $500 price. If you turn that to per month, that is a per disaster, right? And so you want to find clients who are able to afford your services. You don't want to look for like the people who buy some $100 thing or who bought some whatever thing from you in the past. You want to go ahead and have people. I'm so happy that this water is right here. Honestly, this is fantastic. But it's like those are one-offs. Recurrent is slightly different. Now, one thing that I learned from Alex Ramosi is there's 2 avenues, right? To 10K per client. One avenue, the client pays $200 a month. That equates to about 10 grand in 1 year. And then 2 years, it equates, about 5 grand in 1 year. And then 10 grand in 2 years. So 24 months to your 10 grand, right, per client. So get 100 of those, you have a pretty decent business. Or you get one client that's worth 10K. But the churn rate of that client is way higher, right? You'll keep this 200 per month client forever, basically. They won't stop paying you. But the 10K client or the 1K client per month, right? They will eventually, churn. And so the game is, and I faced this, right? So I had a client worth a couple of grand, and then a client worth a couple of hundred. The couple of hundred eventually passed the one with a couple of grand. The couple of grand only lasted about 5-6 months, and then they churned, right? And this person that we had on the graphic design side didn't churn at all. Like we ended the services, they didn't end the services. That's how good the services were. Is that they didn't want it to end, basically. And it's because of how cheap we were. We're at $300, right? 320 for a month of content, basically every day having a post. That's pretty good. I'll be honest, it's hella cheap. That means that for it was $10 basically, or less, a post. Think about that. I told you in the beginning example, it was $25 is what it was like the charge on average of one singular graphic design, right? And so we did bumped it to $100. Now somehow we made it to $10 a thing. So I'll tell you what, that's hella cheap. But again, it wasn't my decision for that, because the way we set it up, we gave three packages, right? This was the lower tier package, and then we had a couple things that were higher. And so based on the lower tier package, they receive X. But by giving them those options, right, we were able to take the inconsistency aspect out of it. Because before it was like, some months we will be high, some months we will be low, some months we will be high, some months we will be low. And then once we implemented this monthly recurrent thing, baseline, right? That's powerful, is having a baseline of like, okay, I know for a fact I'm getting $300. So since $300 is coming in, I don't have to worry about that. I have to worry about the next 300, the next one, the next one, the next one, right? And create it in a way that makes it easier. Also, if you guys like this video so far, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. I'm not an algorithm type person, but I would appreciate if you guys show some love on the channel and in the video, right? But I could care less. Do it or don't. That's up to you. Doesn't matter. So graphic design is a superpower, right? This stems into all these different realms, right? It stems into editing, because there is some factor of editing when it comes to graphic design, right? You get a design and you make it more graphical. You tweak it to make it better, right? So that's pretty much it. That's how to make money with graphic design, right? You could go brand kits, right, and just sell those. And depending on your level, if you're basic about it, intermediate about it, premium about it, that's your choice, right? And so, of course, the higher, it's like Tesla. They went in reverse, right? Usually, people go for the small fish. Tesla went for the big fish first, and then they shrinked it down to have people, the masses, be able to afford their vehicle, the Model 3, right? But before, they started with a sports car that was $250,000. There's no regular person who has that money just laying around, right? And if they do, it's way more valuable than getting a sports car with that. And so they leave that alone, right? So it's only for specific people, like the premium. It's only for specific people. You sell to the rich, you're able to make more money because they have the money, right? They have the resources. But if you're selling to the poor, or the people who don't have enough resources, then it's pulling teeth, right? So you get to decide who is it that you want to target ideally. Who's your ideal client? And so for me, I want to go premium all the time, because premiums go like, give me the biggest boost, and then like I'll back it down. So the way I will reverse this is like I show premium first, then intermediate, then basic. Then the question is, which one do you want? Does premium fit you? Does intermediate fit you? Or does basic fit you? It's the same structure that I do with what is that? Bookkeeper. Okay, this first service is for people, multimillionaires. This next service is multi six-figure businesses. This next service is for small businesses. Which one do you fit into? Well, if you're making millions, you'll probably go fit into the top tier. If you're making hundreds of thousands, you'll probably go fit into the second tier. And then if you're less than that, you'll probably go fit into the third tier. So you're going to sell yourself out of all the tiers that don't work for you. So again, for the example right here, premium is $5,000 to $20,000 plus. So it's like they see that, ooh, oh, that's fucking crazy. I didn't know graphic design could be that crazy. Okay, intermediate, 2,000 to 5,000. Oh, that's still rough. Basic, 500 to 2,000. Oh, okay, like that's in my range. So they they're selling themselves out of the tier that they don't want to be in, just by you displaying it. And again, asking the question at the end after you show all the tiers. This is this tier. This is this tier. This is this tier. Which one do you think fits for you? And shut up, right? And you do this with every different level. You have reoccurring, right? And you have this one time thing. But anyways, that's been the video. That's been how to make money with graphic design. And basically, graphic designers don't get paid enough. Why? Because they don't have the information. I was actually speaking to a graphic designer who's going specifically after summer camps. It's kind of a tough niche because it's like a seasonal niche, if you will. And then at the same time, they don't really have the money for it. So it's like that's a tough niche to really make your way through if they don't have the money for it. But maybe they're just lying. They have the money for it, but they don't have the money for it for you because they don't see the value. And so making them see the value in all this is the important part. And the value is the results that it's going to bring them. It's not, oh wow, like it's going to look so beautiful. You're going to love the way it looks. It's like, fuck that. Listen, this is going to get you better results. You're looking to get higher value clients, right? You want higher value attendees at your summer camp. So you gotta go ahead and show that. You gotta show that you're higher value than all the rest. All the rest are doing some basic shit on social media. If you come around and be like, yeah, everybody else is doing this on social media, but we decide to really emphasize social media and pay to make sure we show you quality, just like the same amount of quality, if not even more, when you join our summer camp. But again, you gotta be able to articulate yourself, talk in a way that the results excite the person. So if the results don't excite the person, then you're screwed. If they're not excited about what you could do for them, they're probably never going to do what you could do for them. Simply like that. But anyways, that's been the video. I hope you guys liked it. Remember, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next video tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Peace.